Hey guys, welcome back. This is part 9 of X3 Albion Prelude, the Star Wars Reborn mod, and it's been little times passed since the last video. I don't know, a couple days, but let's see. Last time. I did explore a little bit more. I didn't have this below Trinity Sanctum explored and satellites placed. And what I did was the way the universe works. It right here at the shallows. There's a east gate that cuts right over here. Now there's a bunch of Federation sectors here that I haven't explored yet. But this cuts right across, and then East Gate here actually leads up here to Inner Worlds. Now there's actually sectors over here, and then there's, I think if you just went straight to the end, went down one, and then that one's connected to really there's it's kind of like the same size as this a little bit as far as the amount of sectors, but it's a little area kind of like that, but it's actually like right over here too, and one of these sectors go across to it, so it connects. That's how how the universe connects. But at least this way I got like the circle done all the way around here. So that's where I'm at with that. There's still plenty to go. Still, I mean, I definitely have half, if not like, I don't know, maybe 70-80% done, something like that. But so we're getting there. Also, the reason for the network is for trading, which I talked about sector traders and all that, how what I do to set them up, and which ship we were using, the GR75, and the stats on that, and why I chose that one to be the universal trader. Let's see here. Uh-oh. I got some drones that were launched in Omicron Lyri. Let's hope I still get. So this is your property sheet. I've shown you this before, but I've got a few more ships now compared to before, as you see. These all here are GR75s, and well, there's some tricks that I mean, it's not very user friendly. Like this property owned layout, like it's definitely not user friendly for organization or anything like that. But there are some tools still it does have if you know how to use them. One of them is like these universal. Okay, so first of all, names are important. Everything's kind of alphabetical order. But if you go here to options, really just check it out. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can turn on and off. Now, one thing is, like if you notice, these are like beige, obviously, you can see that. These are all the universal traders, and obviously they're just out there trading, so I don't really need to worry about them. So to get this clutter off of there, what I do first of all is if there's a type of ship, or for instance UT, that stands for Universal Trader, and then I just number them in order, and that actually helps me keep up with how many of what ships I've got, because you can go as big as you want. So you're dealing with tons of ships. So anyways, and you can mess with, like I said, mess with the options or however you want to set it up. But I'm trying to let you know some things that I do that help me with this clutter of a supposed to be a tool, but anyways. So what I do is, first of all, the names. Well, let me show you this. You can group a bunch of different ways. You can do it by sector. Oops. You can do it by sector or not. If you don't, you can do it by like ship class. You can do it by ship ID number. You can do it by ship name. I like to do it not by sector, but by ship class, so that they're grouped by TS, TM, all that stuff, M5, M3. To me, it just works out better because I use the same model for the same task. So usually they're kind of grouped by ship type anyway, so that helps me. But then within each section, no matter how you want to lay it out or organize it, sector or whatever, it's all within that group. It's in alphabetical order. So that's why I use UT for like universal traders. I use CT for complexes, if they're just working, either trading for a certain complex, either buying or selling. I do ST for ship traders. So like sometimes I've got some ships that can supply the bigger ships because the bigger ships can't dock. The bigger ships, like I think it's M1, M2s, M7s maybe. No, I think M7s can. But I believe it's the M1s and M2s. They can't dock just anywhere. They're so big. They can dock at shipyards and equipment docks. I believe equipment docks. Yeah, equipment docks. But that's it. And so you kind of need like ships to work as a middleman between the stations and those ships. And so, anyways, I have those kind of designations for those tasks, and also because if it's in alphabetical order, it'll group them together that way, and then I just number them to separate them to keep track of them. And again, instead of having to count all these, and this is only 19, the number system helps me keep track of how many of each one I've got. So like the last video, I said I want to get 30 of these universal traders. So I've got 19, 11 more to go. Still working on that here. But at least I got 19 going right now. And to kind of show you just real quick, I kind of went over it a little bit, but I buy those GR75s here, Cloud-Based Southeast. And I usually just go right over here to get some energy cells for jump drive, and then I just go up here to TerraCorp, and then because this one's already got the equipment dock, so I get the software from that equipment dock when I buy them. I get energy cells, and then I get the software that's at TerraCorp. Then of course at that equipment dock, upgrade the speed and everything like that. Make sure your transports really just max them out. Unless like in the beginning where you kind of like obviously tight with money. When you start building your empire, it's just the best. It's just to max it out. Like even you might think steering on a ship, but actually if you have the AI fly your ship, which is going to be most of the ships, if it's not maxed out, they have a higher chance of crashing. So keep that in mind too. But anyways, I just kind of wanted to show you what, like, because I buy like 5 of those GR75s at a time, 5 or 10. I bought 10 one sometimes. Anyways, usually in groups between there, and then just send them as groups basically to these stations like that, and and then once I get that, they're all upgraded guns. I got the command. The command's about the turrets. Don't forget that. Don't forget the auto jump. The auto jump on the command screen there for the ships. But once I got all that stuff set up, bam, start sector trading. Wait until there. Now, sector traders, I showed you when it was level 6 that you can actually basically start sector trader again, and that screen will come up, and you can put in an extra sector so they have more sectors to do trading. Actually, level 8 they can universal trade, and that's weird because I remember 12 being the level, like, so, and you can look it up on the internet. Actually, I was going to do that before I recorded this video, but you can just look up the internet, like the different levels of the traders and like what they learn at what levels. But it was actually level 6 you can add a sector to their sector trading. Level 8 they can universal trade. And so I'm not sure I don't know why 12 sticks in my head, but I thought there was something at level 12. But anyways, because I thought it was actually couldn't really universal trade until 12. But anyways, I wanted to kind of let you know about that, so those levels, because that's important. Try to get them level, like as soon as they turn level 6, reset their sector trader so that you can add that sector. As soon as they're 8, go ahead. Well, it's really up to you. Like, actually, you can keep them a sector trader for a while. Maybe that's it, because you can, even though they can universal trade, you don't have to send them off universal trading. But maybe it's level 12 where they have to be sent out as a universal trader. So, like, even though they can at level 8, if you want, they can still gain experience. Like, I guess if you want to keep them in an area so they get smarter before you send them out. I mean, just to keep them, a higher chance of keeping them alive. That makes sense. So if you can do that if you want. But anyways, that's kind of what I've been doing with those traders to get to this point. Wow, I kind of flipped a little bit here. I was going to talk about, all right, so this property owned screen, the way I got these a different color, like if you go into any ship commands command screen, now these are actually in a wing now, so this is a little bit different. I did put all my universal traders in the silver wing. Well, I'm about to show you why here, but if you go into each individual ship, like let me do, I don't know, let me do the one I'm in. If I go into the commands, there's a little option here. It says hide from property menu. So what I did with the universal traders is each one I hid from property menu. Actually, I don't know if, is that still, I was trying to see if it's still an option for the wing. No, it's not. So yeah, so I guess you have to do that setting on each individual ship before you put them in a wing. So make sure to do that, because once they're in a wing, there's a different, obviously it's a wing, you see it right there, wing command console, so it's a little different setup. Anyways, if you say don't show on the property screen, and you're probably wondering why, hey, they're showing on the screen, it's because I got them in the options here. You can go to don't show hidden ships. So if I say yes, now the ones I selected to be hidden, they're going to be hidden. But if I do no, then they'll show, but they'll be marked a different color. So that kind of now, so you can show them on this, show them on the screen if you want. Now, the reason why I put them all in the same wing is because if I do go here, turn this on to not see the ships I've told to be hidden. They're hidden here, but because they're in a wing, they're still here under wing. So I can still see them, like, access them instead of having them on like my main screen. I can still get to them quickly without having to mess with options or anything. So that's how I did it. These are all marked hidden from the property menu individually on their command screens. And the option don't show, but I've got them in the same wings, so they show up in the wings. Okay. Hopefully that helps a little bit, because to be honest, this system I've got for myself that works for me. I'm not saying it's obviously the best or anything, but to give you a little heads up, it's after many hours of messing around and through trial and error basically. But anyways, so hopefully that helps you kind of get that organized for yourself. You can change every name of the ships, and also usually what I do is, so I usually have that designation at the beginning because it's in alphabetical order, and then a number because they'll look at the letters and the numbers, obviously, so they're in numerical order. And make sure the single digits, you have a 0, or it'll be UT8, which goes after the ones, but you got your UT1 before. So anyways, and if I have 100, like if I have to get to 100, which I won't for the universal traders, but just to give you an example, obviously you'll need to put 3 zeros in front. So it's just so that they're all in order, look nice, it's easier to see. Anyway, so enough of that. But I am working here. We've got right now, we've got 57 million. Now I still need to get a little bit more, because I want to get 11 of those, 11 more universal traders, those GR75s, which will take a little bit more than this. But I do have the 19 universal traders trading, so that greatly increases the rate in which this number grows, which helps. This is the part where it's just like I don't have to do each manual trade. Like I know you've seen me in past videos manually searching for trades, manually sending ships to each station, manually buying and everything. But what's so great is I've got 19 ships doing it all on their own. You can see right here under the orders. Now I got two on standby. Now the thing is with the universal traders, because they really are pretty good, but and obviously you can't tell them where to go, because then it's like a different mode for the universal trader, so it doesn't count towards their own learning and leveling up and all that stuff. But you can tell it where to start trading, like where to start your sector trading. I kind of explained what I did with the power circle before with that, but you can still mess with that too. Like, I mean, I can just and the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I think once they're level 25, they can see either 9 or 10 sectors away. But through all this stuff, they end up like basically somehow all being like on the same half of the galaxy. You want to try, you can spread them out, because I can tell someone, hey, I want you to they're at the wall. Hey, I want you, and I've got like tons of universal traders right here. I might say, hey, you know what? I want you to go ahead and jump down here. And then once he jumps down there, then I'll start the universal trader again. So at least he starts here. I think you see what I'm saying. It's just to kind of keep them spread so they don't overlap. Now, when they're in the 20s, as far as a level, they do communicate with each other, so you won't have like 5 universal traders all seeing the same deal, all going to the same stations after the same stuff. Like, they do communicate, so they won't do that at a certain level. But again, they're limited to 9 or 10, which is it's a big viewing area to see all the prices, but it's not like they can see this whole galaxy. So just keep that in mind. It's something that definitely helps me a lot too. If you see a lot of traders standing by, they may be grouped together, so they've overloaded an area. There is no more deals right there, but there's tons of deals, like, down here. So just keep that in mind, that you can control where they start trading at, where the area of trading starts. So okay, so I'm kind of excited about this part. I did talk about getting the Arc 170. I think I started talking about getting that ship like on the second or third video. I've been talking about it for a while.
Hell, it's about time.
Well, that was also when I think I only explored like this, I don't know, it was like this part of the galaxy. It was starting out, had that just the lat trait for a trader. And so the price, the specs, and also it kind of went with the story, since I'm a retired Clone War vet, using the old Arc fighter. That's, I wish I had a picture of it. You probably know it. It's the one that kind of looks like an X-wing, but it's got like an extra small wing in between the wings. It was the fighter. It was in the Clone War movies. But anyways. And I even brought up the fact that I could buy it, like when I had, I think, just 100,000 more than what it cost, or something like that. And so I hate to do this, but I'm so far right now that when I went to get my own ship, by the way, what I suggest, it's not the most fun way of doing things, but what I suggest doing is you build up your universal trading fleet first, because they're the ones that make you the money. They're the ones that make you the money. Really, once.
Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, what can I do for you, Rod? You just tell me, what can I do for you?
Show me the money.
Say it with me one time, Jerry.
Show you the money.
Oh, no, you can do better than that, Jerry. I want you to say what you would mean it, brother. I didn't even feel you, Jerry.
Show me the money!
Jerry, you better yell.
Show me the money!
Congratulations, you're still my agent.
Like, just in general, when I play this, it's basically explore and drop satellites as you explore. Really, what I consider the friendly races space. Like, I don't go into like the Xenon sectors and stuff yet. Also, there's a whole big area up here. There's a lot of Xenon sectors, especially when you get here. Yeah, and as you see here, these are all the war sectors. And well, anyways, just a quick side note, there is a plot. I haven't even talked about this, but there is like a storyline plot to this game, if you didn't know. And what happens is it triggers when you're in this sector. And when I was in this sector, and it triggered and I think maybe you have to be a certain level or something like that. I can't remember exactly what else triggers that plot storyline to go, but I do know it starts here in this sector when you get into this sector. Well, once I triggered it, all these popped up on my map. So I was trying not to show those on my map yet, because what I try to do is I try to get the friendly areas all done as my trading area, get 30 universal traders going, get them really established before I start going into danger zones, just so that I have a foundation of money and stuff like that before I start losing losing traders, even though I did, if you notice, this goes to 19, it doesn't go to 20, and I buy them by groups of 5 or 10. So you do the math. Yeah, I've already lost one. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so I haven't lost another one yet, but I did lose one trader so far. So anyways, I'm going to get back to the ARC 170. Yeah, I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get it. So I'm sure you saw that coming, but it's because I got better stuff. All right. So if you notice, I don't know if you noticed or not, but this is a different cockpit. But you probably noticed that gun there. This is a M3 fighter. Yeah, there. M3 fighter. X-wing. It's you can Google this and stuff. Actually, because that's what I do. Like I tab out and Google these names because, like I said on like the first video, I love Star Wars, but it's not like I have ship names memorized. I mean, I know X-wing, B-wing, Y-wing, A-wing. You know, that's easy. But when you get into like the XJ5, CR90, blah 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 blah, I can't put the picture with the name. So, anyways, I've been googling these, but so you can Google it. But the XJ5 is actually, I guess, that is a model of an X-wing. It's an advanced X-wing, and I've got. Let's see here. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to stop making that noise. So this is the M3, and it goes 276 meters per second. That's pretty fast. The acceleration is 105 meters per second. That's pretty fast. I mean, when we're talking about M3s, that's pretty fast. The steering, it's pretty maneuverable. It's got 8 5 megajoule shields, so that's 40 megajoules. Obviously, with the math. So 40 megajoules on the shielding. It may be a little light. Let's see real quick if I go to the encyclopedia, go to ships. Let me just do some other M3s real quick. So, yeah, well, that's a B-wing. That's 125. That's 100. See, that's got 200 megajoule shield. That's got 325, so that's 75. Yeah. There's 200 there. And that's the one that I've got here. So, well, the Y-wing's going to have shields. That's 100. So if you look here, 8 5 megajoule shields. So that's 40 megajoules. So it doesn't really have a whole lot of shielding. However, I think, yeah. So like this Y-wing, even though it's got 100 megajoule shields, look, the shield power generator, it's 1,000 megawatts. And this one is 1,200. So at least the recharge rate, let me check. That one is 1,000. Actually, that was 2,000 and 200. That one's shielded up. Actually, this is kind of like a side note. Big ships like M1, M2s, whatever ships. Well, actually, whatever ships that can carry ships. I always use this model, the CHF1 hauler. Yeah, the hauler. If you look here, it's got 4,000 units of space of cargo room. Okay, and it's an M3 fighter. Okay, so there's only certain models ships that can hold any kind of transport ship. Anything to, like I said, like the M1s and M2s, they can't dock directly to stations, so you need a in-between ship. Well, if you're using a fighter that may, you know, have 300 units, 400 units maybe, depending on what you want to transfer, you can have to do a lot of trips or whatever. It makes things difficult. But if you've got 4,000 units, if you remember, the LAT I started out with had 4,000 units. Okay, and that's a transport ship, a cargo space. 4,000 units, that's a cargo ship worth. But in the game, it is an M3. It's a fighter. So any ship that can take ships, this thing can land on it, even though it's got 4,000 units of cargo room. So just heads up on that one. You definitely want to use that as like a supply ship. That is the model I use for the ship supply ships. Anyways, getting back to these ships. I always just go off on tangents, but if I see something, you know, that I think is worth bringing up, or even if, like, if in my mind, I'm thinking of, even if one person watching the video doesn't fully get what I'm saying, then I just wasted both of our time. So I may explain things a little bit too much, but anyways, so I got, oh yeah, see, look, there's R2. Look at R2 just chilling in the back, because this model, the back turret for the X-Wings, the Y-Wings, I'm not sure if there's any other models in those two, but definitely those two. Ooh, got promoted. Anyways, what Miska did, the modder, is he made one of the back turrets. Shoot. Yeah. He made, if you see here, it says turret back. There's one back turret, but there's no guns highlighted here. That's really the R2 droid. So it's like a turret. It acts in the game. It acts like a turret, which is genius. But the man, I'm getting off topic. Surprise, surprise! I never, ever do that. Yeah, it's under turrets, I think. Yeah. So the R2 series astromech droid, if you see here, provides ship repair, power for jump drive, and missile defense mounted externally. So it gives boosts to your ships, which is cool. I mean, it is really, really cool. And so anyways, there's R2. And yeah, look. Hopefully you can hear. Actually, I was going to turn these up.
Command accepted.
I'm going to turn that down for a second. Hear it? I love that sound. Sorry. But anyways, okay, so this is the XJ5. By the way, when I make names and I use usually a designation in the front, no matter what names I do, I try to keep the actual model name, or at least some part of it, in the name. So because let's say that I want to have a whole squadron of these later on, and I'm like, you know what? I can't remember which X-Wing model that was. Well, it helps to not delete the, at least be able to tie what you have here to what you need to know to buy it. if you ever wanted to get that model again or anything like that. So like, see, this is what it shows in the. So I kept the XJ5 just so if I ever needed to, because here's the XJ5 Raider. The XJ5. Here is the T70. By the way, oh man, I really thought about getting this. Because to be very honest, it's like a little slower than the XJ5, but it is a M4 as far as the game's concerned. Excuse me. It's an M4, which is a medium fighter, not an M3, which is a heavy fighter, which it basically came down to the laser recharge rate. But that was very tempting. That's the X-Wing that's in the new Star Wars movies, where it's kind of like the engine. It's like a half engine, like a half moon on each wing instead of like the full engines. Anyways, but there's a lot of different X-Wing models. These are all special models, by the way. That's here. So there's also normal models and then other models. And anyways, getting back to the original point, I always just a suggestion, along with the designation and numbering, trying to use that in the names, is try to keep that just in case, like I said, because it just makes things easier if you ever need to go back and try to get it again. But this is the XJ5, and yeah, that sucker's bad to the bone. Like, let me not point towards anything. The guns it's got. These are powerful guns. These are, well, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the easiest way to show you real quick, but these are the, I call them the AG2Gs, Corellian. These are, well, you can even tell by the color coding and everything compared to like the 9s or anything. They are powerful. They're really powerful. I can show you stats. You can look it up though. But I want to show you which guns these are, because this sucker can have 4 of those. Obviously, right there with the guns, and it being I don't know if you saw the video where I attacked a Imperial transport ship, but it was with the ship and the gear that came with it at the start out, so it wasn't very good. Well, it took forever to kill that thing, not because it was a difficult fight, just because I didn't have enough energy. And I mentioned during that fight, that's why I usually wait at least until I get a M3 because of the energy recharge. Well, these are 4, so that just kind of show you, or kind of get the difference here. That was an M4 ship. It only had 2 lasers, and those were the KX9s, which use up less energy. These are more powerful lasers. These are 4, not 2. And I can hold this thing down all day. If you look at the number of this, here's the energy for these four guns. I'm just going to hold this sucker down. If you see, I mean, it will go down, but I mean, I can hold this. I don't have to worry about stopping and recharging. Like, I can just rip them up. Yes. So anyways, hopefully you understand why I've got this instead of the ARC 170. And the ARC 170, really, as far as the stats, it is an M3, but as far as the stats, it's not even. It's like 100 meters per second slower. It's got like half the shields. I think it's got half the gun. No, it doesn't have half the guns, but it doesn't. Actually, I think it does have the R2 unit, that thing. But anyways, oh yeah, I'm loving it. I am loving it. So I decided to go with this fighter. Now, what I usually do is I usually have an M3 fighter, like a heavy fighter for fighting, just that has a lot of firepower and can take a pounding, you know, heavy fighter. And then I usually try to get a M5 fighter, like kind of the best M5 I could find that's fast. Like the main thing is really speed. It's not really for strength. But I always go for like one of the fastest ships I can get, because it's useful, like for instance, like placing satellites, you know, just flying through there, just dropping satellites. So I usually look for speed and cargo bay, because that's one of the things that's why I just wanted to get a circle, like from inner worlds to here to here. I mean, even though I was down there, even though I was down here, I didn't finish it out. I didn't go over here just because I just wanted to circle real quick. But I wanted to get a fast ship so I can drop these satellites quick. Like, I mean, you can drop them really, really quick. Get a ship like the one I got, which was... Well, let me bring it over here, I guess. Let's see. No. You know what? There's
Command accepted.
just a side note here. There's protect me and then there's follow me. I can't remember which one of those. One of those, the ships crash a lot more than using the other one. I can't remember exactly which one it was. Maybe I should save. Oh, by the way, I bought like 100 salvage insurance, so I don't have to worry about saving anywhere. I just save, just in case that crashes. Let's see. Let me target this sucker.
Raider.
And so anyways, this is my heavy fighter X-Wing. And this, if you notice that front there, this is obviously it's a modified X-Wing, but it's a T65BR model. And while this X-Wing is a heavy fighter, it's an M3, this X-Wing's actually an M5. Like, there's M4s, M5s, and M3 X-Wing models. But like I said, there's different stats and everything. But this one's an actual M5, and this actual model, the T65BR, this is what it looks like. It's like when I first saw it, like I'd never seen that before, so to me it looked like, is it something the modder kind of just made up? But no, actually that's what it is. This T65BR, that's what it is. And the story really kind of behind this is the S foils don't lock in attack position. They are forced to be this way because it was turned like into a high-speed scout. Like, this is supposed to be some sort of like bigger sensor deal for scouting, and you can't go into attack position. It's really only for speed. But if you look at this sucker, let's see, go to my ship, go to info. So this is a no, I don't want to, not that one. So this is an M5, and 432. Well, I don't, you can see right there. 432 meters per second. Accelerates extremely well. Your steering. Now the thing is with the steering, what's kind of odd is the bigger fighter, the heavier fighter. I think that it was like 40 something, like 42. So the thing about this Scout is it's not as maneuverable, but it's a heck of a lot more faster. So it's more like just traveling distance fast is what it's kind of made for. And then you look at the shield, it's only 125 megajoule shield, so obviously it's not going to take a lot of shots. It does, even though it is an M5, and it goes 432 meters per second, it still has 245 units of cargo room, which is good. That is good for that speed, that class of ship. And really, to be honest, really the 25 megajoule shield, that's not bad when you consider all those stats, like definitely the cargo bay, everything together. That's a really good ship. So, and see that one's got R2 there. I don't know if you can see him. There's a little R2, little R2D2, and of course that's the pilot. It's me or whoever. But anyways, yeah, this it's definitely as far as having just a heavy fighter, like a fighter that if I want to take on some stuff, I got it. If I've got a ship that I just need to get somewhere real quick, travel, scout, like say I don't know, let's say I've got, you know, a couple carriers, couple frigates, couple corvettes, whatever, like a fleet, you know, before just jumping in blindly to a sector, I kind of like to plan it out if I can a little bit. So what I do is I have a fast ship like this, because if you dominate, if you dominate speed, you can keep distance. In any dogfight or whatever, as long as you have this upper hand on speed, you control distance, and that's very important. So if I'm fast enough, I can scout out a sector, like kind of check it out. I can run if I need to or whatever, because there's not many ships in this game that can catch up to that. Definitely. So anyways, that's like my scout. And then again, like I said, dropping satellites, it's very helpful if you can go 430 meters per second. So I got those two fighters. Now the thing is, like ideally, I think I mentioned this before, ideally you want to use pretty much all your money to build up your universal traders, because each one generates more money. So, you know, you want to get these going first thing. However, once I got these ships, I'm like, well, I can't have two fighters just flying around. I mean, you can't, you know, and you know, you got to have some ship to keep them together, right? I mean, you have to. So what I did was, let me get this ship to stop moving so it doesn't run into me. So anyways, oops, let's see here. Probably already saw it by the name, but
docking granted. Autopilot activated.
no. There we go. Um, well, you can see the names there. First of all, I like the X-Wing names. I've got Bang Bang for the heavy fighter, and I got Zoom Zoom for the speedy guy. But the ship I found and I decided on as far as a carrier, may be able to. Let's see here. That's right. It's the Ghost. It's the Ghost. And what's... Oh, that's not good.
Crazy drunk driver.
My shields just went down to 60. Okay, so anyways, it's the Ghost. It's the Ghost. Cool. Okay. So I got... Okay, so it's docked. Let me go ahead and get the other one here docked too.
Docking granted. Command accepted.
But yeah, the Ghost happened to be a ship that's in this game, can carry 2 ships. It I know in the show Rebels, it's kind of got like a ship at the top. It's kind of got a ship that like launches back here. But if you see here on this ship, they land right here. Let's see if I can.
Raider.
Target that one. And we'll see if we can watch it dock. But if you see, they kind of hang on the side there. They're docked on the side, which is pretty cool. I think I mentioned in a video where there's some... I was thinking of M6 model that kind of did that. Had the fighters dock on the side of the ship. Okay, so see, this is, and this happens at any kind of like with the ship. Sometimes it gets stuck. Like it's not stopped. Like it's still trying to follow the command to dock, but it's literally on the exact line. Like if there's a spot it's trying to get to, it is literally on the exact line to that spot in between here. So it's not like he's on either side. So I don't know if that made sense. But anyways, if you get this, all you need to do is kind of move a little bit and then stop. Just move so it has to adjust and like he has to approach again, and hopefully this time when he approaches, it'll be a lot better. Try not to move if something's docking, and because it can be a little touchy. As you saw, that shit that my fighter, when it was trying to land, it crashed right into there. And it brought the shields down. Luckily, the hull's good. But so, okay, so it decided it wasn't good enough. It just decided to turn around there. Well, while this is deciding how to land, got its pilot license from a Crackerjack box. ooh, ooh, ooh.
No aim.
Oh yeah, there we go. Like a glove. But yeah, so it's pretty cool because I got the ghost, and because I usually about this point in the game I try to get some sort of ship that can hold some fighters. You know, nothing huge, but just something that's kind of like a central. Sorry, I was kind of yawning there, but something that's kind of like a central location. You know, like it's a headquarters, but not a headquarters yet. But it's kind of as I expand, I can build up and get like a bigger, I guess you would say maybe command center or headquarters, like a central thing for me to chill at. But I definitely like to have something that can hold fighters because I need somewhere to put my toys, of course. I mean, of course. It's not just about the toys, but it's also about all the accessories to those toys, right? So I needed to get a ship. I had to get the Ghost. I had to spend that money instead of doing the right thing and investing in the transports. I could have 30 transports right now. Instead of 19, but you know, anyways, you see what I spent it on. But come on now, it's the Ghost. So I'm able to use the Ghost, but you know, once I got this, it's just like, come on. I need some friends. I need some wingmen.
I have no friends.
So you can probably tell from the names here, but let me
Command accepted.
let me bring these guys over.
Command accepted.
Oh yeah. Yeah, buddy. It's the Falcon.
What a piece of junk.
It is the Falcon. Oh yeah. Now just a heads up, if you, I mean, I guess if you're diehard Imperial, you may hate this ship, but I mean, I was going to say, like, you know, who doesn't want to have their own Millennium Falcon? But if you see here, this is the Millennium Falcon. The model of this, it's a YT 1300. It's like it says like Carillion. Oh, might as well just bring it up. Let's see here. You can only get it at OTOS. This OTOS shipyard I mentioned before. It's got a lot of special models. But if you look here, you see it's Carillion YT 1300 freighter military transport. That's not the Millennium Falcon. This one is the Millennium Falcon. It's like I think it stands for like military something actually, because when I looked at the model number, they Googled something. It stands for something like military, I think something to upgrade. But anyways, this one, and I'm not sure if there's any other versions of the YT 1300 freighter, but this is the one. It's in. I haven't seen Solo, but it's one I've seen in the previews of Solo, where this is kind of like filled in. From what I believe, the one that's filled in is the actual model. Like as far as the story lore goes, it's the actual model, but the Falcon was modified for some reason. I'm not sure why. It may even be in the movie. Like I said, I haven't seen Solo yet, because The Last Jedi killed Star Wars. It was The Last Jedi. It killed Star Wars for me, but that's a whole nother topic. So here we go. Yes. So I've got to have Han and Chewie.
Chewie, we're home.
You know, hang out with me here a little bit. I mean, go on adventures together, and also what's nice is this is a let's see, the Ghost is a TM, transport is a TM. The Falcon is a TS, I think. Yeah, it's a TS. And then the Ghost is a TM. And then this one, you may also recognize this sucker too. Slave one, Boba Fett's ship, Jango Fett's ship, you know, bounty hunter ship. So I've also got this as a wingman, and what's nice about this one is this is a TP. Yeah, TP. So between what? Oh, okay. Wait. Okay, I moved, so it's moving. But so I've got the freaking fire spray or slave. There we go. That's nice. You can see them all there. Oh, that's what I was looking for. So I've got. I'm in the I'm considering Ghost as like my main ship, because I can have my fighters on there. On that ship, so I kind of like consider that my main ship. And I've got the Falcon. I've been using the Falcon, like the Universal Traders are trading ships that are kind of automatic. Well, I like to have some sort of transport ship that I manually control just in case I see something where I need to transport something for whatever reason. Usually it's like stations low on something that makes a gun that I need. So I manually use a transport to transport goods there to get it, so so its cycle starts up, and so it will make the gun I need, or what for whatever reason. It's my bitch for lack of better wording. Does my will, whatever I please. But so it's kind of my, well, yeah, bitch, basically. Whatever I need it to do, and it is a TS, so it's a transport ship. It's got decent cargo room, and it's the Millennium Falcon. So it's kind of like my wingman, but I also send it out to do certain things. The slave is also like, my wingman. So, but actually, I just got this one. I'm trying to get it kind of upgraded and stuff still, but yeah. So this right here is the little is my fleet right now. This, as far as military might, this is the fleet. Now, one thing too, I mean, if come on, like the Millennium Falcon, like I was imagining squads of these things, like the Falcon, the fire spray, the Ghost, which the Ghost is the VCX 100. You can imagine squads of these things flying together, which is very appealing. But I think what I'm going to do, and actually on my first playthrough, when I played this mod for the very, very first time, I was doing that. I was getting fleets of Falcons and stuff. But I think for the purposes of, and the thing is like when I did have a fleet of them, it's the Millennium Falcon. It's cool and it looks really cool, but it kind of lost its obviously its uniqueness. It's what kind of made it special. So I may get fleets of the 1300s that have the thing in the middle, but I'm only going to have one Millennium Falcon. I'm only going to have one Ghost. I'm only going to have one Slave. But instead of having like fleets, like squadrons of these things that I don't really get to see, I'm actually going to use it like my wingman, so I can see him all the time. Which I think it's going to be a better idea. So I can use them, play with them, have them around all the time. I can also transport, of course, in between all the ships. So if I kind of keep these as my force for just right now, I'll see how we do. But I wanted something cool, of course, just to play with, but also something that, like I can take these guys into a battle and see how we do. Now, it's not like it's Star Destroyers or anything like that, but we can I can start doing stuff like that. So I'm getting all these guys all upgraded. But yeah, so I've got the posse here. I've got the Ghost with 2 fighters, the X-Wings I told you about, and the Slave. I mean, the one thing I really do want to get into a battle with these things. If hearing the Falcon fly and fire its guns, because its guns sound like the Falcons, and the Slave, its guns sounds like the guns on the Slave. We're gonna rock this galaxy I don't know. We're gonna rock the galaxy. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, to be honest. So, anyways, I wanted to give you guys an update because this is the eye candy, and like I said, how this mod is really done well. Miss Mixka, and everyone who's helped him, and all the people that have contributed to this. It is the game for me personally that I have basically always wanted since being a kid. Like when you have all the vastness of the openness, the options of the game, how deep the game is, how far you can really go, the choices, it's just amazing. So anyways, I got some fighting ships. These are actually all and the funny thing is these are actually all transports technically in the game, but its main purpose is to have some fun, and we're gonna have some fun with these things. Hopefully in the next video I'll try to get these things all upgraded, and I'll get my universal traders up, so I have 30 of those. Probably explore and lay more satellites. That's kind of the direction right now, but also hopefully more of the, like, as we go, this is part 9 of the videos, and really, well, the timing's kind of cool too, but hopefully starting with part 10, which is a nice round number, but hopefully starting with part 10, the videos will continue to get less less of me talking, like, because I've already explained stuff already in previous videos, and more of this type of stuff, like being able to see different models, buying different ships, flying them around, being in battles. Like, that's the whole reason I do all this foundation grinding. And it's not even done yet, of course. No, I mean, I haven't even started factories yet. Of course, when factories and complexes start here, I'm going to explain that stuff just like I did before. So if it's obviously, like, I'm not the most entertaining person, I don't make videos. I mean, I didn't even have this mic before I started making this series. So, so really, all of you watching, thank you. Because it's not like it's a very entertaining show or anything. I try to. It's more. Really, you can just show it to people, and new people who may be intimidated because it is very high learning curve with X3. The problem is you have to kind of go through that a little bit if you don't know what the game's about, to find out what it's about. So I'm trying to hopefully show people what it's about without having to be intimidated or discouraged or frustrated at the very beginning before it has a chance. That's the thing, because I can't blame people for being frustrated at the beginning, because I believe me, I was too. Probably, like I said, I wouldn't doubt if I have 2,500 hours in this game, like, as far as all the X3s, Reunion, Terran Conflict, Albion Prelude, all that stuff. I would have to say that definitely my whole time, maybe not my whole time, but most of the time that I played X3 Reunion, it was really just frustrating, to be honest. But I was lucky enough to know what it could be, because I did take time to read, and so I was able to see what it could be. So when I did go through that stuff at the beginning, the learning and all that, I already saw that vision. I already had that vision. I already knew what it could be. So people who hear some things but don't really know what this game can, what enables you to do. I can't blame them for just like trying it for 20 minutes or 5 minutes and just saying I can't do this. But the thing is anyone can, and if it appealed to you to at least try it out, it probably is a game for you because it's very unique. It's a very unique game. But anyways, props to the modders, props to EagleSoft. Oh, one thing I can't stop the video without mentioning this. I just found out recently about X4. Probably you guys watching the video probably. I guess I just now saw the announcement trailer that came out like a year ago. So, however, I knew it was going to be coming out, but I really didn't know it's coming out like pretty soon, like either this year, beginning of next year. I think it says release date. It says 2018 is all it says, not a quarter or anything like that. But I watched some of the Q&A videos, it was Gamescom or QuakeCom or something presentation. But everything that I saw and hearing, the main guy at EagleSoft that and I apologize. I don't know if more than 5 people is going to watch these videos anyway, but I don't want to be incorrect or mislead or do anything like that. I do apologize, but his name's I always want to say Bernard, but it's not Bernard. It's like he lives in Germany. It's I believe it's Germany where EagleSoft is, but it's like BERNDT. I think that's how you spell his first name. But anyways, like when I heard him talk about X Rebirth before it came out, I mean, he was upfront and honest. He said, it's a brand new engine. We're building it from the ground up. It's going to be a single ship. It's, he was trying to put it softly. Like he talked about, like with X, you not only had X1 and X2, but then you had X3 Reunion, X3 Terran Conflict, X3 Albion Prelude, and I was there I started playing it during X3 Reunion when that first came out. So I kind of saw that whole development, and really it was the community. I mean, the community with the modding community. I can't remember the mods now for X3. But there was basically a mod that put the Terrans in the game before there was Terran Conflict, and it was really because of that mod, I think, that EagleSoft made Terran Conflict, because it was a mod. It was kind of buggy a little bit, and there were some things that you couldn't do, but I remember that was what we wanted. We wanted the Terrans, and then anyways, it was modded, and so my point is there was a lot of great minds, not just within EagleSoft, that helped with that development to make Albion Prelude what it is and how deep it is and all the options you have. It wasn't just done overnight. But with X Rebirth, when he was talking about new engine and all that stuff, I knew it wasn't going to be that great. Well, anyways, you could tell by his persona, like the way he presented things, that he knew it was not going. It wasn't what EagleSoft and the community made X3 to be. He knew that X3 Rebirth wasn't going to be that, and to be fair, as far as X Rebirth being as deep as X3 Albion Prelude. That's not fair to expect that. However, the buggy catastrophe that came out, when it was released, that was on EagleSoft, and actually they've admitted it. They've apologized and everything. And like I said, that's why I really do like EagleSoft. They have always been mindful of the community, listening to the community, and actually act on that stuff, and do what they do, like right thing over what's the profitable thing type deal. So, anyways, I kind of went way off the rails there. But X4 coming out, everything that I heard about that, I hear the confidence in I can't pronounce his name, but main EagleSoft guy, and really all the other guys too, that I heard talking. It really seems that they know, like X Rebirth was laying the groundwork for this game, and if you look at it, they called it X3 Rebirth for a reason. It wasn't X4 for a reason, but this game is called X4. Listening to the confidence that they have in what they say about the game and where they at and what it's going to be able to be, I am really excited about it. Like, even though X Rebirth sucked, like I was like, I understand the situations. I don't like, of course, X Rebirth. I wanted it to be X3 Albion Prelude, but with those graphics, or that freedom as far as the stations and stuff. But like, to be fair, you couldn't really expect that to be as deep. A brand new engine from the ground up, in that game, be as deep as one that has had a decade or whatever. I don't even know. Not a decade, but it was probably a good 5-6 years before. That was when X3 Rebirth came out, or Reunion. Like, after X3 Reunion came out, between the time that came out and Albion Prelude, I'm thinking it was at least 3 or 4 years on top of whatever the time it took to develop X3 Reunion. So anyways, there's no way that Rebirth could have been as deep. However, there was no excuse for all the bugs and how bad some of the things were, but they admitted it, they apologized. But the way they sound in these interviews for X4, guys, is going to be great. I really do believe that. And if you're new and you're watching these videos, I really think, actually, probably not my videos. It's probably better to actually watch someone else's X3 videos who are actually going and, that are organized, that they, are actually entertaining in the videos. But anyways, learning the mechanics in this game, X3 Albion Prelude, I think if you're new, learning that stuff now will really give you a jump start on X4. Because everything I saw, everything I heard, everything, like, I was saying yes, like after a comment or something. Like I said, I did that more than once. I did that a few times. The only thing I didn't like, which not Bernard, but forget it. I don't know how to pronounce that name. But what he does like to do is he likes to tie things in with the plot line. Like, I like the open box, sandbox. I mean, that's what's great about X. And I understand having a storyline too, so that you want the box. Even a box has sides, even the sandbox. So you kind of want to shape the narrative, like the races, storyline, the universe. I understand that. So, and I think that's why he puts the storylines in these games. And actually in X4, I guess each start's going to have its own character and storyline or something like that. But I heard the new research stuff, like there's going to be research and crafting, but I heard that was tied in with the plot, especially teleporting. which is going to be huge actually on this, because you can teleport. That'll be a way to kind of fast travel between all of your assets, stations, and all that. But there was something in there about getting access to that through the plot. And there was something else that I can't remember right now that was tied to the plot. I don't like that. Hopefully you don't have to do the plot. Well, let me put it this way. Hopefully, if you don't do the plot, you don't miss out on any of the content. Besides the plot storyline. Does that make sense? Like any of the assets, any of the ships, any of the technology, like anything like that. I just hate having to go through a plot to get something, because when it was X3 Reunion, when they first came out with the player headquarters, you had to do a plot to get the headquarters, which was stupid. And then because you had to like get tons of stuff. It was basically collecting stuff and delivering stuff, but you had to get tons of amounts, like crazy amounts of stuff that doesn't produce very fast in the galaxy. It was just, all it was frustrating. And then there was also the Xenon Hub. I'm trying to remember what that story plot line. Oh yeah, there was a storyline. I think it was Xenon Hub, but it was like a big dome, and you could, when you got through the storyline, this dome was kind of like a gate network, as far as you could use this. It was a one-time only. You could use it to connect two sectors that weren't connected. So it was like a bridge, but like literally, if you wanted to connect the two further sectors, or if you wanted to connect a sector that was maybe your mining area to your headquarters area, so that you can quickly transport goods, or what, there was many different very cool uses for it. It was very cool, but it was just the fact that you had to do a plot that was more like delivering and trying to buy up tons, an insane amount of products. That was frustrating. So Eaglesoft, if you're going to tie it in with the plot, I really hope somehow there's a mode or something that you don't have to do the plot to get those. Please. But by the way, but seriously, X4 looks like it's going to be freaking. It's titled right. I mean, it looks like it's really going to be X4. It's really going to be the next sequel to X3. Anyways, I wanted to show you where I was at. I kind of went off there a little bit, but I am excited about X4 coming out. So I wanted to show you where I'm at, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, plus show you the nice little toys, nice little ships here, and so you can expect some battles with these ships coming up here pretty soon. All right, well, thank you guys as always, and definitely appreciate you. Thank you.